Bada bing, bada boom. Let that hang in there. Honestly, look about the same. So after you see on the last one, we got a couple of threads on our block over here that we got to go ahead and get cleaned up. Probably a couple of them are going to need TIG welded and filled up and then tapped and re-drilled. So we're just going to jump on some other things. So first thing we went ahead and cleaned up, I just wanted to test it out and see how good it could do. We went ahead and cleaned up one of these pistons. It did quite well, actually. If you look at it, it looks pretty well, besides all of the flash rusting and stuff, flash corrosion, whatever you want to call it. Looks pretty good. It's not too bad. It's got a little bit of some carbon still left on the top. But like I said, I don't know if we're really going to even be using these in the final build. So I just kind of wanted to test it out and see what it all looked like. You can see these are basically the stock. That's what they looked like before. Took about two times through it, and it cleaned it up really well. You can see it actually got quite shiny there on the edges. Next thing I wanted to jump into were these intake caps, the spacer for the Vanos and stuff like that, and then I got the bolts in there as well. This is one of the intake caps after we have put it through the washer. It's been about 2 cycles at 12 minutes, 65 degrees. This is one of the exhausts, just for comparison. I mean, if you guys look at these, I mean, it's night and day. We got a spacer in here for our Vanos, and we got our bolts in here as well. So we're just going to take it all out and see how clean it all looks compared to the stuff in our exhaust bag over here, which has not gone through the cleaner at all. So we got our intake there and our exhaust. That's what they look like right now. Pretty dirty. We're just going to take the rest of our intake stuff out of here real quick. This one does not look too good right here. I don't know if you guys can see that scoring and everything on it, but on that far right side, I can't really feel it with my fingernail, but it's definitely there. It's very visible. Look at that. We'll see what we can do with that. All right, I think that's everything. It is. So we're just going to go ahead and start putting in our exhaust side now. There's that. You guys can just see these things are just absolutely covered in that oil residue. And that's exactly what this ultrasonic cleaner is going to take care of for us. Just going to take it all off. We're going to go ahead and throw this spring plate in it as well. They are labeled front, so that will help out. I believe this one was labeled front as well. I thought it was. Maybe not, but I mean, it's kind of obviously self-explanatory. It's going to be like a spring, so you want to put the pressure that way. So I'd assume this is your front. Obviously, whenever I'm putting the whole motor back together, I'll look at diagrams and we can go from there with it instead of just guessing. Take a look at these. Ooh, it didn't do too bad. Let's dump them in here real quick. Give them a little bit of a dry off or whatever. But yeah, it didn't turn out too horrible. Those are what they look like after they come out. And they're not going to be super shiny, but it looks like here we also have our studs for this. And on our exhaust side, I don't think we had any studs. These are what they look like when they went in. Just oily and dark. Come out somewhat clean. Throw all of our bolts in this little basket here. And we'll throw the rest of the caps down in here. Bada bing, bada boom. Let that hang in there. Give her a little shake around. Hang that. Close those. And let's start our process. Make sure your heat's on. 61 out of 65, that's all right. And full wave. Let's get it started. Hopefully quiet it up a tiny bit. In the meantime, while that's cooking over there, we got this little tray over here labeled for our intake caps and bolts. So we're going to go ahead and grab those, throw them in here, and just set them off to the side so we can remember where they're all at. All right, here we go. We got our little tray, all of our caps. I know these studs and bolts don't go together, but I'm just going to put them like that for now so we can keep it all organized. And we'll push this off to the back and get the exhaust. So let's go ahead and take out all of our exhaust stuff. Looks pretty good. I think I did this one as well for 2 rounds, but I don't know for sure. Because these still look like they got a little bit of some residue left on them, but they're still pretty clean. Here we got E2. Let's look at this one, because this one I just seen. Yeah, it's a little dirty still on this side. I don't know, maybe if we do it for another round or what. Yeah, it's still got a little bit on it. It's not bad. It might just honestly be like surface corrosion already that's starting to, like, flash corrosion or flash rust, whatever. But the actual bearing surfaces, I guess you would say, aren't horrible on them. But every single one of these exhaust caps look like they were, not every one. This one doesn't, but all these other ones look like they were engraved by something almost, like a metal engraver or something. Ooh, this one does not look that good. This one is a little marred up, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I just feel like some of these just didn't get as clean as others, like especially as the intake ones. They just don't look as clean. Maybe it's just my solution is getting to the point where it needs to be cleaned out now. It's kind of hard to tell. You know what I think happened actually on that other one is this was the side that said front. You're not even able to see it, but it was right here actually. I'm pretty sure I just wiped it off. But it's okay because you can see there's... Oh, this one's actually got some sort of like warp to it. We might actually have to order another one of these. We'll set out to the side and mess with it later, but yeah, it doesn't... It definitely marked off the marking on it, I'll say that. I think it just needs to go for another round. I think I'm just going to throw them all back in there because you can see this one, it's still got a little bit right here as well. Let's just throw this all back in here and let it run again. And shut it up. And it just ended again. So let's open it up and see what we got. Honestly, look about the same, but it's okay. We're going to take them out and clean everything off. This thing is not going to get that clean. It's okay. Not too worried about that. I feel like the caps did get a lot cleaner though, actually. I don't think this was one of the 2 of dirty ones or anything, but this one right here definitely looks a little clean. Or cleaner, I should say. More clean than they did a minute ago. Yeah, you can see right there was a little bit of residue right there on it. There's still a little bit on this side. It may just be like some little bit of some flash corrosion or whatever. It's okay though. We're not going to be too worried about it. We'll let it go just on the surface. Now I do not have another container for these like I did for the intake ones yet, so we're just going to set these here and leave them here for now. Go home, print another container. Damn. Go home, print another container, and then we'll be right back with it to throw everything in. Our last cap out here. And of course it's... Ooh, that one now. That score. Yeah. That one we might have to replace, and that might require us to just replace them all on this side. We'll have to do some looking into that, but I can definitely feel that one on this one. Not good at all. Let's see how these bolts turned out for us. Ooh, I think they actually turned out better than the intake ones. Not obviously perfect, but a little bit better than what they were. So we're going to go ahead and run home real quick, print out one of those containers, and then we'll be right back. Normally takes a little bit to print these. It's like 7 or 8 hours a piece for some reason, so it definitely took a little while, and we just went ahead and printed more than we needed. It took a couple of days. So we're just going to go ahead and organize this like we did the last one. And there we go. I do need to go ahead and put a label in the back, and then that one's going to be all good to set over on the table. And there we go. We got our exhaust caps and bolts and our intake caps and bolts down there. We got our spare tray right here for the next one. We've got a couple over here. These are things for the Mustang that we'll mess with later. But let's go ahead and find the next thing and throw it up in the parts washer. Up next, we got these oil squirters. And I think these are flywheel bolts and some like main bolts and shit like that. We'll measure them later. We'll set them to the side. We'll mess with them later. I got this thing in here just heating up as well as doing a cycle just to run and heat up quicker. So I'm going to set these towels off to the side because they're somewhat clean. And I want to go through this on a dirtier towel because I know this has a bunch of residue on it. I'm going to show you guys a cool trick with these oil squirters here in a bit as well that you can do just to clean them out real quick if you don't have an ultrasonic cleaner. But since I have this, I'm definitely going to take advantage of it. These will not be reused, nor will these bolts. Let me find a container for those real quick. Just cleaned it out just a minute ago whenever I ate it last night. My Talenti ice cream. Look at that. 71 cents at Kroger. You can't beat that. It's perfect. We'll just set that off here to the side for now. That's all I'm worried about right now is these oil squirters and these bolts right here. I think I'm just going to let the oil squirters go free. And then the bolts, I'll throw in this one. And that should give enough room for them to really move around however they would like. It's only still at 36 degrees, but we're going to drop this stuff in. I can feel it. It's warm, but it's definitely not hot by any means. Alright, and with these, I'm just going to drop them in here. And you guys actually see that went up by about 1 degree right there. Alright, set it in there. We're going to go 15 minutes. 15 minutes on each one. I'm trying to get it up to 65. Its ideal is about 60, somewhere around there. 60 to 65, somewhere around there. Shit. Let's hit the button. Alright, so for now, you guys can obviously hear probably that ultrasonic cleaner over there working. We're going to go ahead and change out this wheel. I don't know if you guys seen the reel or not, but this thing is absolutely done for. We went up to Hobo Freight, picked up one of these bad boys right here. 6-inch grinder wheel, whatever, wire wheel. You know what I'm talking about. We just about to throw it up in this thing. I looked on the side of it. It looks like we're going to need to take off a couple of Phillips head screws. Ooh, she dirty. Put them safety squints on and blow down through there. All right, let's grab a wrench and a nut and see what we can do here. Actually, I bet I can just zap that off. All right, we're going to see if we even have to hold the other side with a wrench or anything. Let's get it on, loosen it and hold it. Let's test it out. Well, shit. That's not what I wanted to happen. It's reverse rotation on this side. That entire time, I was wondering why it wasn't coming off. Look at that bad boy. She probably from like the 60s. We got something for you today. Perfect. And now it's going to spin this one loose. She ripped my glove. Perfect. Now let's put our little dust shield back on. Let's test her out. Perfect. You can hear a little bit in there. She's smacking the cover a little bit, but over time it'll work its way back out and it'll be spot on. Alright, while that's cooking up over there, I just want to show you guys what having a fresh wire wheel can do. These are my brackets off of my Mustang over here. It's a 302 5-liter. They basically are brackets that hold the oil pan up on the motor. I don't know why they're there, but it doesn't matter. I just want to go ahead and make them look a lot cleaner. This is still after about one pass on the old wire wheel we had. And you guys can see it's not the best. Still has some old like paint residue marks. Not horrible, but at the same time, it's not the best. And I want to see if we can get it looking better. This is about 1 or 2 passes on the old one. And this is actually spinning my time and actually spinning about 5 or 10 minutes on it on the old wire wheel. And you guys can still see it's still not the best. You know, you still got a bunch of rust and abrasion. So I want to see what this brand new wire wheel can do on it now. So let's fire it up and start it up and we'll see what we can do. Alrighty, and after about 5 or 10 minutes, this is what we got. Something like that. And keep in mind, this looked just like this not too long ago. Alright, we just finished up cleaning up both of these rails for the Mustang. The old 5.0, if you can even see that right here. Old 5.0. Yeah. We got both these rails finished up, cleaned up. We're just going to go ahead and set these off to the side. Our ultrasonic cleaner just finished up, so we're going to go ahead and take that off, take a look at that, and see what we got in here. And let's pull these out one by one. And then I can show you guys a little trick with them. For this next step, what you want to do with these is you got to get a can of brake clean, and you got to make sure it has a straw. You want to put your straw on here. Now, what you want to do is spray it right there on that little check ball. And once you spray it in there, it's going to press that down, and it should spray out of here once it's fully clean. Boom. All those are fully cleaned out. We are just going to go ahead and set those off to the side. And then once it's time to put them in, they should be all good. And we'll do that once more probably. And they'll be all good. Let me get a small container, not a big one. For now, this will be a perfect spot for the oil squirters and the bolts for those. I don't want to mess with those anymore. So those are just going right there. And that'll be that. Alright, now that we got a little container labeled oil pump and windage tray bolts, you can barely read it, but it's okay. We'll figure out what it is at the end. We'll throw these up in there. Before we actually throw these up in there, we're going to throw them on this wire wheel real quick and clean them up a lot more than they are right now. So let's do that. So we didn't want to lose anything, and we just went ahead and said, nope, not doing that, and set everything in here in somewhat of an organized manner. We got the smaller bolts up top, longer bolts down there, and our gear there. So we're just going to go ahead and set it down and not mess with it for a little bit. We'll most likely go ahead and print some more of these once we get home. So obviously we have way more of those. Obviously we got a couple of these small ones to use for now, and we'll just go ahead and hop back on cleaning some more. So the next thing I want to get cleaned up is going to be this oil pump and the windage tray, like the bolts we seen in the last little bit shown. I'm just going to scoot this out the way. Looks like we'll need a 10 millimeter on that side real quick. Boom. So let's go ahead and set this off to the side again. And let's start with this. We're going to set the bolt in by itself again. And then we'll set this in by itself. But we're going to take out this O-ring first. So since we only had to do half of it at a time, it just beeped. Look at that. Look at that clear line right there on it. And we'll do the other side as much as we can of it for another 15 minutes. Oh yeah. Nice and shiny all the way through now. Look at that thing. And it's smoking. 10 times better than what it was. Next thing I want to do is this entire oil pump, but I don't know how well it's going to fit in there. Now, with this, I'm going to clean this up a little bit with some Scotch-Brite pads. See if we can get this a little bit better. Let's get, looks like a 10 mil. Let's crack those open. Split this front case off. And it's definitely going to look a little milky because it's going to have a little bit of, going to have a little bit of the solution along with a little bit of the oil in there as well. That's okay. All right, now we've got that fully cleaned out. We're going to go ahead and submerge this side again. All right, it's now been a couple of days. We are back out here trying to heat this thing up, but I just realized it's been a couple of weeks since we have drained it out and flushed it. I don't really know how often we need to do it, so we're just going to go ahead and stop it and fill it up with new solution, get all that, take the water or the oil pump out, my bad. Set that off to the side, and we'll get the Vanos and everything like that taken apart, and we'll throw it up in there next. I was over here really just trying to heat it up and get it going for the rest of this oil pump, but I think the rest of it is really going to just be hand cleaned. Let's give it a little dunk on that side. Get some of that gunk off of there. All right. Let's go dump this and I'll be right back. All right, I've got no idea how I'm going to do this. This is the best funnel I could find. So we're just going to give it a shot. I'm going to try holding it with my knees, I think, while dumping it in. Oh, Lord. Oops. Oops. Ew. Got a bunch of junk on me. I'm going to take this over here. I'm going to show you guys what all we got in here. First off, let's just look at the bottle. Look at this. Ooh. I don't know exactly how much stuff we ran through it. Boom, that looks so much better. All right, let's set this thing back up. So I think this was my little measuring cup. I will just use that. I think it's 8-to-1. Yeah, 1 part solution, 8 parts water. Just a couple of glugs. And that should be ready to go. At least on that part. Let's pour a little bit more water. All right, we got it heating back up. We're about to throw some of these things back in there. I'm going to do these small parts first. These were the dowels. I just want to do everything again just because of all that metal on the bottom. It's kind of scary. Push those in. All right, we're going to start this 15 minutes, let it go, and then we're going to do the big piece here in a minute. So while that's going back there, I was over here looking at the oil pump, or the base of it, and it looks like there's another little plunger right here that I need to get out with some snap rings, or it's got a snap ring on it to get it out, but I don't think I got a snap ring pliers here. I can't find any, and I don't think these needle noses are small enough. No, it's not doing it. I'll try something I've seen before. No way. I think that worked. It did just enough. Boom. Got it out. Now. Oh, there it goes. I was going to say, I thought there was a spring in there that's going to shoot it out. but it wasn't doing anything. So you got a plunger with an O-ring on it, caked in oil. Ooh, this thing's leaking. Ooh. We'll replace these then. It just went ahead and beat to this, so we're gonna check it out. Oops. Still not up to full temps, but it's getting there. This one didn't need to do anything special. I just wanted to give it a little rinse off because of how messy everything was. All right, we're gonna go ahead and set it back here with all the other stuff. I want to get that part submerged that we did not wash last time. So next up, I want to go ahead and disassemble this Vanos. Very, very messy, as you can already see. And we're going to throw this all in the parts washer next. So let's just go ahead. This one's going to be a little hard to break that one free, but let's start with that because we may have to throw it up in the vise. Let's see if this old thing. No way it goes on it. Just perfect. Oh, all right. Hold on just a second. Let me grab a mallet. I'm going to sit here beating myself up with this. Just like that. This thing's old, man. It's all rapid grip. I couldn't even tell you how old it is, but it did the job, so that's all that matters. Pull that solenoid out. These will just get replaced, but for now I'll set it up here. Let's pull this sensor out. We'll have to get a pick maybe for this O-ring. Let's see. There we go. Ooh, we'll probably take that out too whenever we're cleaning, just to be safe. Or that's actually this one right here, actually. It's a plunger. Let's see. Okay, boom. This one's came out. They do look identical. I'll say that. However, we will just try to keep them organized. We'll set those like that for now. Look at this, man. Look at all of those oil shavings right there. I have no idea where or what the hell was going on here, but that is not good. All right, let's grab a 10 mil, crack all those loose. Start off with. This one. I forgot about these. I think they're spring loaded, so probably need to go little bits at a time. Yep, because now can't even take those ones out without it shooting all over the place. And there. Oops. Don't do that either. Got your gasket right here. That bad boy sat in there like that. Couple of gaskets on it that needs replaced normally. Gasket, seal, whatever you want to call it. They need replaced. Springs, I guess, pretty sure all get replaced as well. Just a bunch of oil. We'll probably go ahead and clean up these gasket surfaces before we go ahead and throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner, just to make sure they're all good and clean before, because it's just better to take care of it beforehand than it is to make or to try to mess with it all afterwards. All right, let's grab a Torx for these. Feels like it's a T40. See how easy these come out. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be too easy. I think there's one more on the other side, and then these will be all done. But by doing this, it should allow the solution to go completely through this thing. I'm going to go ahead and take that off as well. Yep, right here. Oh, there you know. There you go. That just finished up too, so we'll do that here in just a minute. All right, so that thing just finished again. We flipped it over, put it back in just to make sure, and then we'll set it off to the side. Just want to go ahead and give it one last final touch up. For now, we're going to go ahead and load these up into these little baskets. And we got all this over here still. So with these, they got gaskets on them. We'll go ahead and take those off. It's like a, oops. It's like a metal gasket, just like a little tiny sheet of metal. But you go ahead and take those off both sides. Pitch those. This one was already kind of coming off over here. But you can see it's just piece of metal. And now we're going to go ahead and clean these up. Let's go ahead and take this rag, clean rag that I had earlier. I'm actually going to go ahead and take some of this Scotch-Brite as well. And just clean up some of this surface where that gasket goes. That one's all good. So you guys can see how dirty and oil stained these things are. Especially the front. Just wait until we drop it in this cleaner and give it a little 15 minutes or so. I guarantee it's going to take care of almost all of that oil stain. These I'm going to have to look into, but I think I can just get a replacement on those. So I might just set them off to the side for now. And for the spring, I'm going to do the same thing. I do believe these get replaced, but I'm just going to set it up there for now, just so I don't lose it. Now, for these, we need to take an X-Acto knife and cut those off. So with these, you need to be super careful. And all you need to do is just slice that O-ring. And same thing on the back. Oh, shit. You didn't see that. All you got to do is just slice that. Boom. Just like that. I believe there is another under there as well. Yep. It is very, very tedious. But you got two on the top. I believe you only have one on the bottom. But you gotta do that for both sides. Oh, nope. I was wrong. There's two on the bottom, two on the top. Boom. I did it. Alright. I'm sweating like crazy, but you're gonna have two big ones and two small ones. Alright, this thing just beeped. We just got done cutting all of our seals. These are just gonna get thrown up here, so I know I need to replace those. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Our oil pump should be all good, just to set over to the side now. This thing is looking fantastic. Actually a little hot. Do some final wipe down on this. I'm gonna go ahead and set it over here with the rest of our oil pump stuff. First thing I would like to do is the entire unit, if I can. I'm gonna go ahead and just let it drain for a second, just because there's some more oil in it. but looks like it's gonna have to go half and half, kind of like the oil pan did. But let's just see. I know it's already gonna look very clean once I take that thing out, but go ahead and look at this again, just once more. Look at how dirty that thing is. All right, we'll come right back and we'll see how clean that thing gets. All right, this thing went ahead and just beeped again, so we're gonna go ahead and lift this up. All we're probably gonna have to do is do a little 180 with it, or whatever degree that is. Ooh, dang, even that's hot right there a little bit. Look at that. So I'm just gonna take it, throw it in like that. I don't know, somehow I'm gonna have to figure out how to get that top a bit, but let's see what I can do real quick with it. Okay, yeah, I could do that. Let's do that real quick first. Let's run that. Tips almost up there. Still not yet. All right, so another big thing we need to do is take this nut and bust it off, because there's a bearing in there that we need to replace. Basically, whenever the bolt's through there, it controls how much play is in there. So I got one already set up over here on the vise. So we got one on there. We got our 24. Make sure we're on big boy setting. And we're just going to give it a light little tap at first. See how it goes. Yeah, I didn't know about that. I don't know how well that's holding it. Yep, nope. Let's try it now. Boom. Hope I didn't mess this up too much. No. Oh. Shit. We'll have to see about that. But that's what we're after, basically, that bearing there. You got a bearing, and then the washer. You got another bearing down here. And then I think this cup may come out as well. So in this thing, we got a washer. Looks like that's it. Got a bearing under another washer, or a spacer, whatever you want to call that. And inside here, you got another bearing. And I believe this piece comes out as well. So as I was just taking this one out the vise, I didn't drop this at all. But I dropped all this, and I lost one of the bearings. It should have another underneath that, but look at this, look how dirty it got. I still got this bearing in this washer. But man, I don't need the bearing. It's okay, because I'm going to order new ones, but still. So I just went and actually seen a video, and these do actually come out of here. You just got to take it and smack it down hard enough, and it'll pop out. So I'm just going to go ahead and set these off to the side, and we're going to do this other one. You basically just have to take it, smack shit out of it on the table until it pops out. Alright, this thing just finished for the last time. Still a bunch of little gunk bits here on the front. Let me grab a pick or something again. Alright, we're going to run that. Let's take this thing out for one last time. As you can see, I already got some of this stuff kind of already prepared. Let's set it off to the side real quick while we pull this out. This thing looks way better than what it did a minute ago. All these passages look good. So for this now, we got a little bit of some gunk still up in here. You can see a little bit of that up in there, and then there's a tiny bit over there. I want to go ahead and take care of that. This much is kind of a stain. It's not too bad. Over here, same thing. It's kind of hard to get it off. It's just not wanting to come off that much, but I want to go ahead and clean that up a little bit. Just going to take some brake clean and get a little pick. All right, that's about as good as we're going to get it. So on this, there's a little bit of some, you can see it right there. It's like a ring that comes around on it. I don't know if it was from like sitting for a little while, but it continued all the way up there and followed. But I'm going to continue a tiny bit more and see if I can get that out. This all together just looks better. Look in there. Really no issue. See down there, still nothing. Nothing really in there. Looks like it's a little dirty there, but we can clean that one last time before we put it in. I'm going to spray through those holes real quick. Just spraying in all the holes. We got 3 here, 1 there. Nice clean spray. We'll set that off to the side now. Straight off the bat, you can see the piston itself looks way better. Just wipe the rest of that off. Look at that thing. Then we got the first washer that goes down first. And the bearing, not the bearing, the bushing. And then the bearing. And then your spacer. There's another washer here first. Well, your spacer goes, and then you got this bearing, and then you got that, obviously, and then that. Let's look at how this turned out here. It turned out pretty good. Not bad at all. Some of them just look nasty. We'll go ahead and throw those back in again, because why not? So it just died on me while I was going to put all of the other stuff inside the basket, but it just finished up. I actually ran this one a couple of rounds just because it has the bolts and everything like that in there as well. Drain it all off, and we're going to take everything out here. We're going to turn this off because we're going to be done with this for tonight. Throw this on here, maybe try to keep it a little warm, you know, in case it gets a little cold out. Those look a lot better than when they went in there a minute ago. I ended up doing this once. I cracked it open, and these bolts were just not the best looking. And so I wanted to run these ones again. They turned out a lot better this time. Some of them still look a little dirty, but they're going to do a lot better. Piston, whatever you want to call it. This thing looks a lot better now. This is the one that I kind of messed up with on the vise, but you know what? Hate me, I don't care. I think I'm still going to run it. We'll just have to see. The thing did wonders on cleaning this up. So we'll set this up here, and then we will align everything like I have it up there. Set that like that. Clean this out. Looks like there's a tiny bit of just some junk or whatever up in here. Get that all fully cleaned up. We're going to set this off to the side just like that. And these surfaces all here look really good as well. So we're just going to let that go. Let's look at the rest of these bolts. Those look way better. I knew a couple of times would do it justice. So do those. They all look way, way better. Just give them a little wipe down. A little bit of some residue left on the head of them, but that cleans it all up nicely.
And right as we were finishing this up, my camera went ahead and died. If you guys like this series, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe and check out the other videos. Thank you.